Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Timeless Podcast here. Not a podcast episode, but the YouTube channel. I'm, of course, joined by John, and we're going to give our review of SummerSlam 2021, which was on a Saturday. It ruined my sleep schedule, mate. I'm not going to lie. I thought, woke up this morning, I woke up yesterday morning and thought it was Monday. Wasn't another day of the weekend ago.
Yeah, I didn't get up till about midday yesterday, which I missed the opportunity to buy my weekly turnips on Animal Crossing and everything. It was worth it.
There we go. Right, so what we're going to do is quickly go match by match, and some of these matches were quick, so we can quick talk about. So especially one of them was very quick, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to be honest, mate. My brief thoughts. I think we've always spoken about this anyway. For me, it was a show of two halves. One of all right, but not really into it. Second half, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much the same mind as you. I nearly tapped out on it halfway through. To be honest, I nearly tapped out on it halfway through. Normally they kind of stack the show quite evenly, so you've got a decent main event to start off with, and then you might have a sort of halfway main event and then something at the end. But they seem to put all the money matches at the end of the night for this one. I don't know exactly why that is, whether it's a shift over to Peacock and they want people to just stay watching until the end, or not. But it felt like a couple of hours of filler, and then it all kicked off.
And then it all kicked off properly. Well, let's talk about how our dream didn't come true. Because on the pre-show we have Big E versus Baron Corbin in a singles match, and Big E finally wins back his Money in the Bank contract. It obviously didn't lead to him cashing in just yet. But yeah, he won it back. Poor Baron.
Yeah, I mean, even because this was on the pre-show, I still kind of thought that he could cash in later in the night, because normally if somebody's going to do double duty, then they'll start the show and then finish it. But yeah, I mean, I still think, I mean, we'll get onto it, but I still think that cash in will happen relatively soon. I think we could see it happen at Extreme Rules. Because I do feel that shake-up's going to happen quite soon.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It was an alright match. It was a standard pre-show match, 10 minutes long. Got to see what we wanted to see. Sorted.
One thing I will say as well is I really like the look of the stadium. I thought it looked great. I love stadium shows. I thought it looked amazing. It turns out we're getting Money in the Bank there next year, so maybe this is going to become a thing for the Big Four. Just stadium shows, which I'm all about. It adds that gravitas that makes them feel more special. So if you want to do it that way, I'm for it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
So we'll move into the main show where we start off with RK Bro taking on AJ Styles and Omos. A pretty standard match here, actually. Not much booking going on. I thought they would tease a bit more of the RK Bro stuff. Would they get on? No, they just seem to get on in this match. No questions asked. No moments. I was a bit let down by the booking. I like the ending. I like the way it was. I thought the RKO was sick, but I thought this could have had a bit more spice.
I like the outcome on this. I think the match itself could have been better, but I like the outcome on this because I do like the storyline that we've got going with Randy and Riddle, and I think obviously making them tag champs extends that storyline. So it means we're going to get more of this. As we'll come on to later, there are certain things that I don't want more of that it looks like we're going to get, but we're going to get more of this, which I think it's good because it's very watchable. It's something that I've found myself invested in, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Riddle. If somebody had told me 6 months ago that I'd be invested in the Riddle storyline, I wouldn't have bought it. But yeah, it's done a job.
It's done a job, and it was a solid opener that got the crowd popping as well. So I mean, it certainly wasn't the worst of what was on the card. Speaking of the worst that was on the card, if I'm not mistaken, next up it was Alexa Bliss taking on Eva Marie with Doudrop by her side in a one-on-one singles match that I didn't care about. I watched it and still didn't care. It was like they made a big thing of when Eva Marie was slapping the doll, and I was just sat there going, why? What's going on? Why is this happening? Nobody cares. The crowd are dead.
I mean, I mean, at least it was short.
Yep.
But no, I mean, I got a lot of time for Alexa Bliss, and I'm probably in the minority, but I'm somebody that doesn't actually mind this gimmick. Are WWE bastards for effectively carrying on the Fiend's gimmick after giving him the boot? Yes, they are. Is that Lexi's fault? No, it's not. She as we'll come on to in a bit, she's just doing what she's being told and being a good company person. And sometimes when people show that they can do that, when people show that they can ride with shit gimmicks and just not complain and keep on going, it pays off in the long run.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't understand I don't mind the gimmick. I'm like, I think the gimmick works. I think it's kind of cool to have a different person in the women's division, a bit of variation. But it's the whole doll thing. When the doll comes alive, it just takes me out and like when they make a big thing of the doll hypnotizing people, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it is a bit silly, and like the thing after the match with Dewdrop and Eva Marie effectively falling out, I couldn't give a fuck about that. I give zero tosses about those characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm invested in Lexi, so I'm pleased that she won.
I'm also seriously hopeful now that Dewdrop, or hopefully she goes back to the name Piper Niven, can have a singles run, because she is a fucking beast. So if she actually ever does do some single stuff, you will see how cool she is. She's like what's the she's like the female version of Keith Lee. She's like the female version of Keith Lee, as the best way I can put it. Like so if you like Keith Lee, probably gonna like that. Right, next, if I'm not mistaken, it was a match for the United States Championship between Sheamus and Damien Priest. Another feud, obviously, we spoke about, and I didn't care about because I felt it was rushed and Ricochet should be in the spot.
To be fair to him, this match was all right.
It was a good match. The match was quality.
The match itself was pretty decent. Like, that knee strike when Priest was coming off the top rope, the knee strike was sick.
The brogue knee. Yeah, no, I thought the match was really good.
They really worked well. I liked the finish. I liked him using the mask against Sheamus in the finish, and in spite of the fact that it's a match that's apparently come out of nothing,
it's a good match.
It was probably the best match of the first half of the show.
Oh yeah, without question. I agree with you. I think the match was really good. The issue is for me is obviously Damien Priest is this, I don't want to say new character, he's been around for a bit now, but I know nothing about him. I don't know why we should like him. I don't know why we should care. I hopefully this run will enable us to get more of Priest as a character.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a bit more. And hopefully this will also, now that Sheamus has had his US title run, hopefully this will also elevate him. And he'll go back to the kind of upper mid card, or maybe even have one last main event run.
Let's hope so.
As we were saying last week, he's maybe not got another world title in him, but I do think that another main event run, because the guy's been there over a decade now, and he's been brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think as long as it elevates Sheamus, as long as Sheamus doesn't turn into nothing, because like I said, Sheamus is the most underrated person in WWE right now, for my money anyway. I think you can put him in any feud, anything, and he'd do it to almost perfection. All right, this is where my ways of the show got bad. So was it next? Was it Drew, or is that later on? I can't. This is where like my ordering of matches goes a bit all over the show.
I've just
That's fine, mate.
Talk to yourselves for a minute, kids. Man, look something up on the internet.
Because there was so many matches. The order is I think there was like something like 11 matches or something.
I'm on it.
John's
so
on it.
Next up, where are we? Next up was Smackdown Tag Titles.
Okay, so the Smackdown Tag Team Championships between between the Mysterios and the Usos. Obviously, I penned this one to be the best match on the card. John said That's a bold statement with a match card with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair on it. Oh God, were we both wrong? So yeah, this match wasn't the best match of the night. It was a solid tag team match. Like it didn't blow my socks off. Like if they were given time, it could have, but it was solid. Again, trouble in the Mysterio camp cost them the win here. The Usos win the match. We didn't get that Dominic heel turn, which I feel is on the horizon. I still think Rey Mysterio could turn heel and kind of elevate Dominic to be the next big baby face, but also I don't know how good Dominic would be as a heel right now. I'm going to be frankly and honest. I don't.
Yeah, and still your tag team champions, Team DUI.
Oh God. I was saying, imagine how bad it would have been if they just had DUI.
The Usos.
Oh God, I feel really bad for Jay because he is quality.
I don't feel too bad for Jay. Jay's got history as well.
Yeah, but come on, he hasn't done it.
This might be Jimmy's fourth DUI, but Jay cannot turn around and say he's never been pulled over for driving under the influence.
Fair point.
I do mean Team DUI.
Team DUI versus Team DIY for my next team. Make it happen.
Don't drink and drive, kids.
Yeah, especially but don't drink if you're a kid. Just don't.
It ruins. Well, don't drive if you're a kid either. Actually, but, it ruins lives. Genuinely,
it does.
I know from close personal experience of a friend of mine, it ruins lives. Don't do it. Unless you're a wrestler, in which case you get to be the fucking tag team champion.
But John, I'm gonna be honest, this was the point of the show where everything I was sort of that SmackDown Tag Team match took me out of it a little bit because although it was fine and it was good, I was obviously we had quite lofty heights for some of the matches on this card, and nothing yet was delivering that higher.
At this point, I needed something to pick me up, and they said, "Oh, Sasha can't be here tonight. Here's Carmella," and I thought, "Oh God, this is just going to be the worst night ever." And then it all shook up and all changed. Because back after over a year from having a little baby and maternity leave, the man is in the house.
And the pop that she got
that's huge.
The whole crowd just singing that song.
Yeah, I think because it was unexpected, it was huge. And I did like how they pulled the rug out from under us there, and they kind of sent Carmella out there as a kind of dupe, if you like, to kind of just go, "Oh yeah, Sasha's not here, but we're getting this instead." And it's like, no, you're not getting that or that. Hello.
I also have to give props to Pat McAfee as well, who I for one, I think is very underrated on commentary. I love his style. I love how just he's so eager. I love the fact that even he was shitting on this. Like he was even going, "No, this is ridiculous." Like, what? Like I like the fact that he was representing what we felt. He wasn't just doing the WWE corporate line. "Oh yeah, this is what's happening now. Let's get ready for Carmella versus." It was like, no, he was like, "This is a Rob." Like I thought it was great.
Is he underrated though? Because everybody seems to love him. I think he's just getting few props.
I think he's just good. Maybe that's where he is now. He's just
good.
Now.
Yeah. I'm not sure he's underrated. I think everybody recognizes how great he is. Really, but yeah, really good.
However,
obviously, the match itself was 27 seconds long.
Questionable.
27 seconds long. You have to question what that does for Bianca.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in two minds on it. I'm like, if you're gonna bring Becky back to that kind of pop and have her wrestle straight away, personally, I think you do have to do something like that. I think you do have to actually have her just flatten someone. Whether it damages Bianca or not, I think depends on where they go from here. You know, this is what I was kind of touching on earlier with, nobody's ever made it huge in wrestling without a shit gimmick or having to take some flack somewhere. Steve Austin was the ringmaster, The Rock was Rocky Maivia, Triple H was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and was punished for the best part of a year after the Madison Square Garden incident. Everybody's had to pay their dues to a degree. It's almost like this initiation ceremony that Vince puts people through of, you've got to almost kiss my boots before I'm going to make you a star. And this could be where Bianca's had to kiss somebody's boots in order to become a star. It's not right. It's not necessarily the best way to run a company. But if in 6 months' time we're building up to WrestleMania and Bianca challenging Becky for the belt, then it's paid off.
Yeah,
I think they could use it to elevate Bianca to Becky and Sasha's level, depending on where they go from here. They can't just have Bianca disappear from here. They've got to use it to elevate her.
Is it bad that I have no faith? I'm just like, you built Bianca so organic.
It's completely realistic to have no faith at all, because let's face it, WWE creative are fucking dickheads.
Yeah. I mean, you built Bianca. The one thing of the lockdown, I was going to say, the one thing of the lockdown era was how organically Bianca got over through the beginning of the Rumble, winning the Rumble match, essentially being the Iron Woman of the match, going all the way, winning it, and challenging Sasha Banks, and it being a really weird feud where they sort of got on until the end, making that first women's WrestleMania main, for the Smackdown Tag Titles, two women of color in the main event, amazing. And then I don't want to say this diminishes all that, but it certainly makes you go, we just dropped that because of, I'm a big Becky Lynch fan, as everyone knows, but I'm just saying, I don't think this was the right way to do it. Like, you could, for me, right? This show lacks segments. You could have had a segment where Carmella is in the ring or something, trying to hijack the show. Becky comes out, does a move. I understand that means Bianca don't get her match, but I would much rather have taken that than then drop the belt in 27 seconds after one. I'm going to go with like a Uranagi rock bottom type maneuver.
I still think it depends where it goes from here. And although WWE booking isn't great, where the women's division are concerned, they do tend to be getting it right. They've not had too many missteps where the women's division is concerned, except for with the tag titles, which is pretty much pointless. But, when women's single competition is concerned, they're getting it pretty much right.
Yeah.
Their women's division has been on fire for years. So I just, this isn't the end of something. It's the start of what could be a huge feud that could really elevate Bianca to that superstar Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky, Charlotte, Asuka level.
Let's hope so, and I genuinely do. But where do we go from here, John? What's next on the show?
I genuinely hope they do. Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal in 4 minutes and 40.
Well, thank God, because this match was definitely, like, if you want to talk about the worst match on the card, this was probably it. I can't tell you any other match on pay-per-view that screams more of a Raw match than Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. I'm going to be honest, I didn't care about the feud. I like the wrestlers in the feud, but I didn't care about the feud. And this match just proves that they really went the wrong route with this storyline. I'm going to be honest, there should have been more 3MB influences. There is that bit of, Drew became too big and didn't start talking to me, but go into that more. They could have made us a lot more personal. They didn't go there. And it just felt like a Raw match. Like, there's not even much to say about it. Drew wins Claymore 1, 2, 3. Who didn't see that one coming?
Yeah, I think they could have painted Jinder as a bigger threat. Because the guy's a former world champion. They could have painted him as a bigger threat and actually made more of this. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty pathetic match.
Yeah, it was pretty poor. So far, guys, in this show, technically, we've only had two good, legitimately really good matches, which is, for my money, the US title and the Smackdown Tag Title matches. They were like good, solid matches. At this point, we're 6 matches in. I'm sat there going, oh God.
I mean, technically seven matches in. I mean, if you want to count the 27-second match.
Yeah. But that this is where things pick up, right? If I'm not mistaken, this is where.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the triple threat match.
Yeah, so obviously the Raw Women's Championship, Nikki ASH, Nikki Almost Superhero, defending against Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair in a phenomenal match, in a quality match between these three.
Legit 5-star match. Absolutely legit a 5-star match. Clearly, three people that have worked together a fair bit over the last few weeks. It showed that they know each other, that they trust each other. You sometimes get a problem with triple threat matches where it's like, what do you do with the third person? There was no kind of third wheel here. It was very well booked. The only thing that I wasn't massively down with was the outcome. But you could see it coming from a mile off.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I'm a big fan of Nikki Cross. This Nikki Almost Super is again, the gimmick isn't for me; it's for the kids. So I'm not too bothered because I think it's legitimately quite well written. I'm just not really into it because I know how well Nikki, but she's doing a good job. Kids love her clearly. When she goes onto the ramp, all the kids want she's doing the job well. Yeah, she's doing great. She's doing great. But I was sat here. I really like the booking to begin with. The other two pushing Nikki out the ring and was forgetting about trying to make it about Rhea and Charlotte, and then Nikki coming back into the match, fighting back like a superhero. But some of the highlights for me, Charlotte's corkscrew to the outside is always a thing of beauty. The landing was a bit questionable with the barricade being right there and Nikki literally going straight back into the barricade. But the figure eight, and then Nikki coming down to break it up, I thought was good. My thing for me though, like you said, with the outcome, I don't know how I feel for a symbol for the kids to be tapping out. I don't think that was the right decision. If you really want to make Nikki a symbol.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I wasn't massively happy with the outcome. You could see it coming from a mile off because whenever Charlotte's got a title match on pay-per-view, chances are she's going to win it. Chances are she's then going to lose it the next night or a few weeks later because they clearly just want to give her as many world title reigns as possible. Doesn't matter how long they are. They want her to surpass her dad.
Yeah, exactly. I just,
will she be champion in 2 months' time? Probably not.
The thing for me is that it's frustrating because Charlotte is legitimately good, but they don't give her any favors because they just make her well overbooked. I think Charlotte is possibly the best woman working in wrestling right now in terms of in-ring character. She's got it all. She's probably the best in ring for sure. But the issue is that they overbook her. So when she loses,
it's kind of getting to the point where whenever they roll her out, it's like, oh fucking no again.
Oh God. It's like an omen to the current women's champion. Well, your time's up.
It's a bit like it was with Roman, say 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's like,
where it's like whenever they roll them out, and you get that adverse reaction to it because you're getting something forced on you, and she is legitimately a superstar, but because it's
100%.
constantly pushed on her, because it's constantly pushed on us, it people just get reactionary to it.
Exactly. I don't even know where they go from here. With the Bianca stuff, sort of see a path. With this, is it just Nikki versus Charlotte again? What does Rhea do now? Where we go? Where's Asuka? Where is Asuka? What she's just backstage doing nothing. There was a report saying that creative have nothing to do for her. She's fucking Asuka. What you need to do is go, Asuka's gonna beat up that person. That's money. I'll watch Asuka wrestle anyone any day. She's Asuka. Just put her in the match. But no, I don't know. Like you said, the booking of the women's division has been solid, but I think tonight there's probably the most aggravating of the bookings, to be honest. Those two, I looked at it and I went, Really, that's where you go. Okay, I'll play ball, but I don't trust you.
I can't. I mean, I can't not be happy with Becky Lynch as champion. I love Becky Lynch. I kind of, so as much as I know that it was not a great decision creatively, I can't not be on board with that. With this one, I do struggle with it a bit more.
There we go. But let's move on to again another. I'm going to say it, John, another 5-star match on the card because I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
this was match of the night for me.
I would say, I'd say in terms of in ring, definitely. You had Seth Rollins versus Edge. By the way, credit to Edge for going into the Brood music as well. Shades and all, and then obviously it transitioned into the You Think You Know Me.
Yeah, that was the good thing about it. Sort of transitioning between the two entrance songs was great. Yeah, this was just stellar. This was quality.
Yeah, and again, it's almost like when you create a good wrestling feud, people care about the match, and then the match matters more, which is exactly what this feud and the main event totally were. The two legitimately well booked stories going in, and like I didn't know who was going to win this one. I thought the last match would turn off, but this one anyone could have won. And fucking hell, did they pull out all the stops in this match? Like there's so many spots to even count. You have Edge hitting the execution DDT, the executor at one point, which I don't think he's pulled out in a very long time. You had Seth Rollins doing everything, going for the stomp, couldn't do it, goes for a pedigree, hits a pedigree. It's like they're going for everything here, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I think we got a Phoenix Splash at one point, which is pretty dope. Yeah. Like it's just great stuff between these two. It was, and I think
the ending was brilliant as well. The ending was, when he goes for the stomp again, and Edge just grabs his foot and literally forces him like, "You're not gonna do that." I just loved it.
As well, I think this is the first time where I've seen, but again, this sounds bad, but first time Edge had a proper physical one-on-one match, really. Whereas there's not been any edits because obviously the Greatest Wrestling match of all time was edited because it was in the Performance Center. This was the first time in front of a live coach, a proper one-on-one harsh match, and he can still go. You can. I'm not comfortable. Give him a match, man. Because obviously he has a triple threat with Daniel Bryan. He was in the Rumble. This is our first time re-singing the proper one-on-one. How's that going to go type thing. I thought this was sick. Correct. I think Edge was great. Quality. I think the correct winner, because like I've told you on the many podcasts, he's took too many losses recently. He needs the win to stay kind of legitimate a little bit. Otherwise, it doesn't hurt Seth at all because of how good the match was.
I'm not convinced it's the end of the feud, but I don't mind that. I can watch these two go for ages.
Yeah, just go. Round, just keep.
That's not going to let that lie.
Exactly. So. Yeah. There's not much more to say on this. Just fantastic. Like I said, the podcast when there's something just good. More, please. Yeah. Next up, we moved to the one match that we thought it was going to be quick. It wasn't as quick as people thought it was going to be. Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Is it not?
Yeah, this was about 7 minutes long, and it felt like it was as long as Goldberg's longest 10 matches combined.
Yeah,
it went on for a long time. Wasn't great.
Nope.
Unfortunately, Goldberg is shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you spotted this as well, and I'm sure the listeners or viewers spotted this as well. I think my favourite part of the match, aside from entire crowd cheering a child getting choked, my favourite part of the match was MVP hitting Goldberg around the back of the knee with this match-changing cane shot to the back of the knee, which paralyzed Goldberg and meant he couldn't stand up properly for the rest of the match. But Goldberg not actually reacting to it for about 4 seconds after he was hit, taking about 3 paces and then remembering he'd been hit in the back of the knee with a cane.
Yeah, it was poor. It keeps Bobby Lashley looking legit, but like John will tell you in a second, it's a matter of fun.
Bobby deserves better than this. Bobby
is legit on the run of his career.
The fans deserve. Bobby deserves better than this. The fans deserve better than this. I felt that I deserved better than this. The problem that I've got is because of the end with Gage being choked out at the end and
That
the
pop,
sort of shot involved, we're going to fucking see it again.
that pop.
We are going to get it again. But you know, right, that you have booked something badly and made a real bum steer when the guy that is supposed to be your face, that they are supposed to be cheering for, you've got the crowd popping when his son is put into a hurt lock. I mean, maybe they want to turn Bobby face. Maybe they want to actually, they knew this was going to happen and they wanted to just switch it. In which case, genius move. But I ain't convinced about that.
No. That was definitely a heel move from Bobby. I love MVP though. I mean, MVP, I think another underrated person. But there's no way Bobby could have known who that was.
No way he could have known who that was. Yeah, because literally every wrestler out the back's about 5 foot tall and skinny as a fucking rake.
But yeah, I thought it wasn't great. But let's.
Who's this? Who's this behind me? Strowman? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I obviously you think there's going to be a rematch at Extreme Rules. I'm not too sure. I think we're going to be waiting until the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
I think we're going to rematch. Don't know when.
I think it'll be Crown. I think it'll be Crown Jewel.
I'm going to, for political reasons, I'm going to keep my views on Saudi pay-per-views very much to myself.
They're shit. There you go. It's a bunch of money, political bollocks. But anyway, let's move on to a legitimately great thing, which was the main event.
Oh wow, aren't we progressive? We've got 2 women wrestling fully covered up. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh look, I didn't keep it to myself.
Oh no, don't blame you. But let's move on to a legitimately great thing as well.
I think we probably should.
Universal Champion Roman Reigns.
I'm a fat one.
Taking on John Cena, and I'm going to be honest, mate. This sounds really bad. But you understand what I'm trying to say. This match, we're back to being a 12-year-old again and really wanting John Cena to defeat the bad guy. But I was invested. Every near fall, I was sat there going, "Come on, John, you can do it." And John Cena. We've spoken about this. John Cena is legitimately. He should be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling now. There is no way you can deny that as soon as he's electric. Is he the best in ring? No, but then again, there was Stone Cold Steve Austin. No.
I hope you're not a 12-year-old again, because this was way past your fucking bedtime.
Exactly, but I thought this match was possibly the most physical of the night.
Yeah, I think it was the longest. It was as a main event it should be, really, to be honest.
It still felt shorter than Goldberg Lashley.
It did, but that's because they worked well together. It was the longest. It worked really well. As a brilliant sort of showcase. It was the right result, I feel. I do feel that John Cena is going to get that 17th title at some point, but I think it's the right result for Roman to retain here.
Yeah,
because he's on the fucking run of his life.
And, no, totally.
He should. At the moment, he should be overcoming every obstacle in front of him. We might come on to that again in a few minutes, but yeah, at the moment he should be overcoming every obstacle in front of him, because he's on the run of his life. He's got the momentum that they've been trying to give him for years, and he's got it pretty much off of his own back without Vince trying to force things.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't want anything to get in the way of that at the moment, because I want the guy that beats him to be elevated by that win.
Yeah, no,
that ain't going to be that would love him to bits, but it wasn't going to be Cena.
Yeah, no, totally. The only reason I wanted to see the wing is, like I said, it took me back. I was invested, but no, I think Roman is the right call if you're looking at it from a perspective of what should have been done. But I was just me being a fanboy for 2 minutes and being like, "Come on, John, you can win." But no, legitimately, I agree. I think.
Don't get me wrong, mate. I was there with you. I was there with you. I was cheering him on as well. You know,
Also, I love the new John Cena merch. I actually think that he might be appearing every now and then in the next few months. I like the Mario in I really like that.
I think we'll see him around January time.
Yeah.
I
We know
I do feel that there's a Rumble entry.
the next show that he's booked for, we know, is he is appearing at that Super Smackdown. I believe it is in Madison Square Garden. He's appearing on that Super Smackdown, so that'd be interesting to see what happens there. It's probably just going to be
when is that?
I think it's September 10th.
Yeah.
So
you know that sort of that could, you know, with what happened after that match, that could make things interesting. But yeah, I think we could see him challenging for a title at Mania. But I think we could see a Rumble appearance, and
I fucking hope so.
I'd be up for it. I'd be up for him winning the fucking Rumble again.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more than one of the nicest people in the business, and I mean that legitimately, to actually break that fucking record, because he has proven time and time again that he is just a good bloke who.
I mean, you know, I mean, the nicest person in the business is Mark Henry, but he's about 16 titles away from it. But John Cena comes a close second.
Yeah, who doesn't love Mark? Big man Mark. I can't argue that Mark is a sweetheart. He's obviously you've met him, and he only just comes across as a
loveliest guys, and somebody that's got absolutely no pretension. Somebody who had to work, knew that he had to work, put in the work to improve. Didn't walk around with this sort of I'm entitled to do this, that, the other.
Yeah, I think this is very different to the Edge. I think this is big up sexual chocolate. But I think as well, this is one of those matches where it's very different to the Edge and Seth match because it wasn't really spot heavy. It was more ground and pound, punch like that. The fact as well that this match towards the end ended on a yay, boo, punch thing, and it was just a spear out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Like that, it wasn't spot heavy. It was a really different physical match. But then again, if you think, oh, this can't be top, what an ending to the pay-per-view. The title card comes up, and then you just hear the guitar riff, and you know what's coming.
And I mean, you know, our predictions for SummerSlam were pretty lousy. You know, by my standards, I got most of it wrong. One thing I did call was this.
And I'm going to be honest, it was amazing. I love as well. This is credit because this is where Paul Heyman can now get involved with Roman a bit more. It was like he saw a ghost or the X. It was brilliant.
Paul Heyman has got one of the most expressive faces on the planet, and it was brilliant. Just that look of oh shit, and like his jowls sort of wobbling, like oh.
And I'm going to be honest. I think this is the first time in maybe 5 years that WWE managed to get Brock Lesnar over. Like people were like, "Oh God, yeah, Brock Lesnar will take this. It's not a bad omen for people getting squashed. Let's go."
I mean, he's always been over with me, but you know but I'm just contrarian, you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think people, I like what they're kind of doing with Roman. It's like that kind of like, right, he's beaten this person. Now we're going to show you the next opponent.
I feel really bad for Finn Balor.
Roman's won. Here comes Cena. Like Roman's beat Cena. Here comes Brock. You know, so that they should continually do it. Like when you get whatever at the next pay-per-view, say it is, I don't know if it will be, but say it is Roman Brock at the next pay-per-view. You know, it's just like, here's Papa Shango. You know, it's just like that, like they used to do with the old 60s Batman series. I think when that was on its last legs, when they were in the third season of the old 60s Batman series, literally at the end of every episode, they would have the villain that he's just defeated taken to jail, and coming out of jail would be the next week's villain.
And I think it's a really sick thing to do. Like I said, I do feel bad for Finn Balor because I know me and you are really hoping for that Roman Balor match. I don't see Brock beating Roman. Actually, I see that being the surprise. I think everyone's going to go in thinking this is going to be it. I think Roman could hold that belt for another 4 or 5 months. I don't see him. I don't see him
mean,
holding it till Mania. I don't see him holding it all the way till Mania. I think that's when the Rock match is going to happen. But I do see him holding it for the foreseeable at least.
I'm just going to check something.
It's absolutely fine, mate.
What was you might know, what was CM Punk's record in days?
All I know is he held it from, I think, November to late January, so like 14 months, but I couldn't tell you specific days.
434 days. Okay, so Roman's now had it 357.
Yep.
So around end of October, around Survivor Series time, he'll be overtaking.
There you go.
So yeah, he might have lost it before Mania, but I wouldn't object to him losing it to Finn when he does lose it. To be honest, I love Finn.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I think Finn deserves
a world title run.
Well, considering his first one, he got injured and then didn't have it. So yeah. But overall, John, SummerSlam, not one of my favourites. I'm going to be honest. Had some really, really gold moments towards the end, but dropped the ball for me. I think booking was, but they had it was a weird system with the way they scheduled matches. I didn't understand.
Yeah, I think if they'd spread the matches out a bit more, like giving us the Lashley Goldberg match at the top of the card, maybe given this a triple threat match halfway through, which I mean it was roughly halfway through. That wasn't too bad. But yeah, just something to get us going, like the Lashley Goldberg match, as rubbish as it was, at least we were invested in it. And the crowd would have had a massive pop to start off with when the child got sleepered.
Exactly. But John, obviously, I know you're obviously we're very time conscious today, but I do just want to quickly get your opinion, because SummerSlam wasn't the only big thing in the world of wrestling that happened over the weekend. Friday night, AEW Rampage.
We should actually, before we stop on SummerSlam, we should also mention, for those that might not be aware, after the show went off, Mr. Lesnar did send Cena to Suplex City in the ring. So if you check your tweets, check your Twitters, you can probably have a little look at that.
Yeah, exactly. It was sick as well. The crowd loved it, and I think those two have mad respect for each other. But John, like I was saying, there wasn't any big thing happening at AEW Rampage. There was big rumor and speculation that a certain wrestler was coming back, and Christ, did it deliver. CM Punk is back in wrestling. One of the most emotional entrances and returns, I think, ever. And one of the promos
the roof went off.
Yep.
Yeah, the roof went off. You think the roof went off for Lesnar. My friend Rodri said to me on Saturday, he said, it was so loud that I couldn't actually tell for about 20 seconds whether they were playing Cult of Personality or not.
Exactly.
And it's the roof went off. It was an interesting promo.
Yep.
He clearly had a fair bit to say about WWE. He really clearly promised that he's got more to say. But yeah, he's back.
And I'll tell you what, he hasn't aged in 7 years. Now he's cut his hair and he's like clean. He hasn't aged 7 years. And I'll tell you what, I think it's sick. I think the fact they're giving him Darby Allin for the first match, sign me up. Darby Allin's sick. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Get him wrestling Darby Allin before he breaks his spine or something.
It's made me sign up for AW Plus, which is like incredibly cheap for what you get. Only thing you got to buy is the pay-per-views, which are 4 times a year, so it's not too much for me. I can deal with that. So I'm all good. I'm excited for All Out next week. But yeah, CM Punk's back. I don't think it'll be too long till a certain Bryan Danielson pops up either. But hey, that's AEW. That's WWE.
I've been on to AEW shop and ordered my Best in the World Punk shirt.
I'm hoping it's still in stock next week when I get paid, and if so, I will be.
Yeah,
yes.
it would be quite a tame shirt for you.
It would. Yeah, to be fair, this one's quite tame today. It's just.
You're looking quite conservative there. Yeah, you're looking quite conservative by your standards.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, John's wearing the West Ham t-shirt. Come on, West Ham. Let's beat Leicester tonight. 3 more points in the bag. And yeah, guys, we'll see you. Me and John will technically see you tomorrow, but we've already filmed that. So I don't know when the next podcast are going to be because it's the big Infinity War one. So trying to schedule that is like scheduling everything and getting everyone together. So whenever that comes out, we'll see.
And yet, literally all of the people that you needed for that were on Zoom last night.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard to get them all together when you're trying not to plan it.
Exactly. But yeah, guys, we will see you very soon. John, thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, everyone, have a good time.
Drink your milk, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and don't have nightmares.